What's up guys, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be taking it right back to basics. I'm going to be talking about the 6 things, I wish it was 5, but it is 6 things that you need to start DJing in 2021. So this video is really aimed at those people that have perhaps woken up this morning or earlier this week and thought, you know what, 2021, it's my year, I want to start DJing. What things do I need to get started mixing music? Now, if you are somebody that wants to go down the traditional route of DJing and DJ on vinyl or maybe CDs even, my hat goes off to you. I have utmost respect for you, but please do consider that vinyls are extremely expensive to build up a big collection. You're going to be spending out a lot more money. The music library available on vinyl these days is not as big as what is available digitally for download. And also as well, you're going to need a lot more storage space for your vinyl. So hopefully you've got a big room in your house to store all of it, because it gets quite out of control quite quickly in terms of needing a lot of space. And that being said, even in clubs these days, if you want to eventually go into club DJing, not a lot of them actually have vinyl turntables anymore, so do consider that. What I will say is to bridge that gap between vinyl DJing and digital DJing, there is a kind of a system that you can use called a DVS, or digital vinyl system, whereby 2 bits of control vinyl control the software. Again, I'm not going to be talking too much about that today. There are videos on YouTube that cover off DVS systems, so have a look at that. So that's all I really want to touch upon in terms of vinyl and more analog methods. Let's get straight into the items that you need. Okay, so the first key item that you need as a DJ is a laptop. Now, you could argue that you can DJ off of a tablet or a mobile phone, but a laptop is going to be a lot more functional and a lot more versatile for you. So in terms of longer term thinking, a laptop is going to be far more useful for you. Now, in terms of Windows versus Mac, it really does not matter in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, you get a lot more for your money when it comes to Windows, and DJ software works with both of them. I'm not going to go into the whole brand thing because there's enough of that going on Facebook. Essentially, you just need to make sure that your system matches the minimum requirements, and I would argue a bit above the minimum requirements required by your DJ software. Key things to look out for is screen size. I would say don't go below a 13-inch screen because there's a lot going on DJ software on the screen. So a nice big screen, 13 inches is going to be sufficient or above. Make sure that you've got a lot of storage space because music takes up a lot of room. If you can go for a solid state drive over a traditional hard drive, that's going to stand you in good stead. I would try and aim for a minimum of a 512 gig. I've got a terabyte, and that even is filling up because I've been DJing for years and I just collect music like no tomorrow. So a nice big amount of storage to store all your music. Look for a nice powerful processor and also have sufficient RAM as well. I'd say the minimum for DJ software these days, try and aim for 8 gigs of RAM, but if you can get 16, get 16. Alright, so you've got your laptop sorted. The next piece of hardware that you're going to need is a DJ controller. Now, the marketplace when it comes to controllers is extremely busy. There's loads of different options out there for loads of different budgets, and DJs online are extremely passionate about this area, and you see a lot of talk about how Pioneer is better than Denon, Denon is better than Pioneer, and it's got 4-depth mixing and all the rest of it. Quite honestly, the bottom line is when it comes to picking a controller, especially if you're a beginner, none of this matters because all controllers essentially do the same thing, and that is they control your DJ software which is on your laptop. And we're going to talk about DJ software in a minute. But when you're starting out as a DJ, what you need to know is all controllers will support playing multiple sources of music, maybe 2, maybe 4, and it will enable you to mix one song into the other. The key takeaway from when you are selecting a controller is, does the hardware functionality match the applications you're DJing? So for example, if you're DJing in your bedroom and you might want to do a small little house party to a few friends and you need to wish someone happy birthday on the microphone, all you need to know is that you can mix one song into the other, that you can connect your controller to an external sound system, and you can add a microphone. That is literally all you need to worry about. Don't get so caught up in the fact that it's got 14 different effects and it's got 4-deck mixing and all the rest of it, because when you're starting out and you're learning the fundamentals, you don't need all of that technical stuff that comes later down the line. The other thing I would say is you don't need to spend loads and loads of money on your first controller, because if 3 months down the line you decide that DJing is not for you, it's probably far better to say, do you know what, I spent a couple of £100 or a couple of $100 and it's not for me, rather than saying, well, I've invested thousands of pounds and I don't know what to do with all of this equipment that I've bought. So that's the only thing I'd say with controllers. You don't need to break the bank, and don't worry too much about brand. All right, so we've spoken about getting a DJ controller. The next thing that sits kind of hand in hand with that is getting a piece of DJ software, which is item number 3. Now, there are 5 key bits of software that DJs seem to be using quite commonly in 2021. The first is Rekordbox DJ by Pioneer. The second is Serato. The third is Native Instruments' Traktor. The fourth is Virtual DJ, which seems to be very common amongst mobile DJs. And the fifth is Denon's Engine. Now, when it comes to picking software, it's important not to get too caught up in it. One software is not necessarily better than the other. The bottom line is essentially they all do the same thing, and that is they have a library management system whereby you can store your tracks in terms of playlists and different folders, and they act as a means to mix your music together, and you will use your controller to control the software. That is literally it. Some people prefer Serato because they prefer the look and feel of it, and they've used Serato for years, and that's why they don't move to Rekordbox. And similarly, I use Rekordbox because I find it very easy to use, and I enjoy the flexibility that you get with Rekordbox because you can use it in export mode, whereby you can analyze your tracks and export everything onto a USB for use in a CDJ or an all-in-one unit, as well as using an on-screen version which is known as performance mode. The great thing as well with Serato and Rekordbox is that with a number of different controllers, these pieces of software are often bundled together, so therefore it creates a bit of a cost saving, and you don't need to purchase an additional piece of software in addition to the controller that you've bought. And Denon's Engine is exactly the same. It's kind of included, it's bundled in the price. But have a little look around. Maybe you like the look and feel of one over the other, and that's absolutely fine before you make your choice. Moving swiftly on to item number 4, and that is a pair of DJ headphones. And much like the controller market, and with anything, there are some really cheap headphones, there are some really, really expensive ones. You do not need to spend loads of money on a pair of headphones if you're just starting out as a DJ. There are only 2 things that you need to consider, and that is, number 1, do they have a closed back? So some of them have like an open grill at the back. I would say closed back is far better, and the reason for this is noise cancellation. So that is the second feature. If the headphones offer a good noise cancellation, so no external noise coming in, that's going to be really, really important, especially if you end up DJing in loud environments. So yeah, just look for those 2 things. Start off with a cheap pair, see how you get on. And if you're going to take DJing seriously further down the line, then you can invest more money into a pair of headphones. As you know on this channel, my firm favourite is a pair of Sennheiser HD25s. I think they're the best DJ headphones on the market. They offer exceptional value for money, and they don't break the bank in the grand scheme of things, but you don't need those to start with. Alright, so you've added your headphones to the cart. The next item that you need, item number 5, is a pair of monitors or a pair of studio speakers. I would recommend these simply because it creates a realistic DJing environment for you at home. So what I mean by this is, eventually when you get a DJ gig playing to a crowd, you're going to have the crowd in front of you, music playing out the PA system, and you're queuing up the next track in the headphones to mix. Well, essentially this just recreates that environment at home. So, you know, rather than just DJing in your headphones. And also when you have your friends over, you can show off your new mixing skills to them. Again, you do not need to break the bank, especially if you're starting out. The high-end studio monitors that you buy are designed for studio music production use. You do not need to buy those. You know, invest maybe $150, £150 in a pair just for you to play some music at home at your leisure. And then the final thing that you're going to need, item number 6, is some music. Go online and buy some tracks that you like and that you're going to practice with. Beatport, TrackSource, even Apple Music, iTunes to download some tracks is going to start you off in the right direction. When you're starting out, I really wouldn't recommend looking at music pools and monthly subscription services. Just buy tracks on a pay-as-you-go basis is going to be the best way to start. I hope you found this video useful. Those are my 6 things you need to start DJing. If you like this video, please do give me a little thumbs up down below. It's completely free. It tells YouTube that this video is good and pushes it out to more DJs, and I will see you in the next video.